Yeah. Yeah, welcome in. Welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast Live. Saturday night edition.
Welcome to the Format Pod. Oh, you did it already. My bad.
I did it already. What up, Transformer? What's good?
What's good, my boy? You all right?
Maintaining. As you can see, let me move the mic out the way. I am repping for the American Athletic Conference champions, United States Army Black Knights.
Hey,
Let's go.
You know what? Just 1 second. Give me 1 second. Hold on.
No doubt. Go get it. Let's go. And guess what? Next week, go Army beat Navy. We're going, as Shannon Sharp like to say, we're going to put foots in them. I can't wait.
All right, because I don't.
What's good, gentlemen?
I don't have no army paraphernalia, but I'm getting this. I got this hoodie from my father. So, hey.
There you go. What up, Mr. Transformer Senior?
You know what I'm saying?
Hey. Transformer Senior was good.
Hey, man, we not in it. So, hey, y'all go get it, bro. Let's go get it.
You in it next week. We about to, like Shannon Sharp say, we're going to put foots in them.
Hey, man, listen, bro. I'm trying to show some love here, man. Show some damn love.
I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. Yes, I am. I'm very happy my guys got the job done today.
Yeah.
Was it 45-19? They won. No. That was the Iowa State game. But I think they did score 45 against Tulane last night. It was last night. I'm sorry. In the AAC championship game. So, shouts to Army. It would take a miracle for them to get in the 12-team playoff. That's not going to happen, but it's still been an incredible season. 11 wins for the first time ever, I believe. And they still have Navy next week. Yeah, they still have Navy next week. And then after that, who knows what the bowl game is going to be. So really good season for those guys.
Next week, you'll go to 11-2.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. All I can say is go Army beat Navy. That's all I can say.
I'm just saying, I'm like, I'm thinking, yeah, y'all go 11-2. I mean, with that.
Well, let's see.
That would be a detriment to y'all, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, neither of us is going to make the 12-team playoff, but we'll see how it's going to play out, man. We will see how it's going to play out. But what's going on, everybody in the chat? How y'all doing? Appreciate y'all being here. As always, I'm going to give my little spiel. Then I got an announcement to make in case you haven't noticed. If you're here on YouTube and you haven't already, please make sure you go ahead, click that like, that subscribe, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept up to date whenever we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in the Format Podcast, and we should come right up. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you give us that like, that 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. And finally, make sure you write it down, put it in your phone, set an alarm, do whatever you got to do to remember. Saturday nights at 7 p.m. we are live here on the Format Podcast, and we'll give you the opportunity to call in, talk to us, get at me. I love it. I can't wait. Before we do that, got a quick public service announcement. Just want to let y'all know we went ahead and we set up memberships for the channel. Don't know if you saw. So there's a little join button next to the subscribe button on the page. So if you would like to, we would love to have you become members of the channel. Go ahead and do that. And then once you do that, there'll be some we'll have some stuff there lined up for you. Some members only content, that kind of thing. All right. So go ahead and do that if you're so inclined. We would love to have you. Definitely, give member shout outs and all that kind of thing. So let's go ahead and continue to help this channel to grow, because we are doing things and going places. So all that helps out, and we look forward to continuing to expand the channel. While oddly enough, not completely mathematically eliminated. Purdy's contract is over after this year, and so they will have to
tag him though.
They'll re him. They could, but they're gonna re him up. But as it's been reported, the money is already there and set aside. So they're deciding what they're gonna do. But Purdy was a fraud. We'll get to that. So yeah, Transformer, man, where are you on the 49ers? Do you believe that they're done for the foreseeable future or just this year? What do you think?
Just this year.
Okay.
The 49ers have
Mhm.
done a great job over the
Mhm.
last 10 to 15 years, right? They're drafting, their free agent signings, their
Mhm.
quarterbacking, running game, defense. They
Mhm.
seem to always strike when the iron's hot in the draft and in the postseason to get those type of players. So for that reason, I'm going to say no. Um, they're all going to pay Brock Purdy, but I think you
Mhm.
can suffice that because they're going to end up trading Debo Samuel. I think they're going to trade him.
Okay.
At this point, the number that he's worth, I mean, the number that he wants right now, the production is just not there. He's only made one Pro Bowl in his entire career,
Mhm.
not Pro Bowl, All Pro his entire career. And this year, he is not playing well at all. Granted, that's due to a lot of other things that surround him, but you expect Debo to definitely step up this year, and he just hasn't. They're going to end up playing Brock Purdy, but you still got Nick Bosa, you still got Trent Williams, you still got a defense, you still have a run game, even though Christian McCaffrey is going to be on the back end of his career. Those guys run running backs by committee. As you saw when Christian McCaffrey was out, Jordan Mason stepped up. When Jordan Mason went down, I cannot pronounce his name, but their rookie, he stepped up, right? So they have a formula for success.
Mhm.
So with that being said, like that franchise has ran incredibly well. What's
Mhm.
their Lynch? Is it Lynch, right?
Yes,
They're all,
John
yeah,
Lynch. Mhm.
yeah. Tom Lynch. Tom Lynch
John
does
Lynch.
John Lynch. Yeah, he does a
Mhm.
great job with that franchise. So I would say no. I would say they're not done. And yeah, I'm just gonna say they're not done. For that reason, I think they're not done.
So,
The way they've
sorry.
been running the last 10, 15 years just shows
Mhm.
like, nah, they'll probably have a down year like now.
Mhm.
Then all of a sudden next year, boom, they got the pieces
Mhm.
and they're back in the saddle.
Yeah, I think they scout and draft pretty well, and that allows them to replace talent. And their evaluation process seems to be very solid. I'm going to totally disagree here with Steve when he says that Brock Purdy's a fraud. I'm not saying Brock Purdy is the next coming of John Elway, but realistically, how many quarterbacks that don't have weapons around them? Think about this. As great as Peyton Manning was, they loaded him up with weapons, right? When he arrived there, he had Marshall Faulk. I think they got him Marvin Harrison. They got him Reggie Wayne. They got him
Yep.
Edgerrin James. When Edgerrin
Yep.
James was gone, they got him Joseph Adai, Dallas Clark, and Peyton Manning is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, right? But they got him weapons. I'm
Yep.
trying to think what great quarterback was really able to do it without weapons. Elway
Tom
and
Brady.
Brady, right? That's
Yep.
probably about it, right? So you got to have guys to put around your quarterback. So I don't necessarily fault Brock Purdy for that. Now, I will say this to Steve's point. Um, to Steve's point, C-Mac probably is what makes this offense go, right? And so we see for his first 2 years in the league, you see Brock Purdy near the top of the league in all the major categories, but this year he is really struggling. But I think a big part of that is not even so much. Obviously, Debo has been in and out. He lost what's my guy's name who they just
Brandon Ayuk.
extended, Brandon Ayuk. Kittles is so. C-Mac has been out most of the year, and now he's out the rest of the way. And on top of that, Trent Williams, right, one of the best left tackles in the game, if not in history, he's been out. So you don't have the protection. Like that is tough. That is tough,
And he plays
right?
left
So
guard. That's like that.
is it
Left
guard? I
tackle.
thought it was
Left
tackle.
tackle. My
Okay.
bad. I said
Okay.
guard,
Okay.
but yeah,
My
left
bad.
tackle. He plays
Yeah.
left tackle. That's the
Uh-huh.
most important position for a quarterback
That's
who's
right.
right-handed because your
Yes.
back is turned to the left
Yes.
and Trent is
You need
stopping
that
everything
blind side.
coming from the left.
Right.
So yeah.
Mm-hmm. So when you don't have that, it's difficult. So I get it. Let's see. Okay, Bruce. Yes, Trent Dilfer did it without weapons, but nobody thinks.
That boy defense was insane.
Wow. Yes, that's what I'm
Still
saying. That's
current defense
arguably
was
the greatest
insane.
defense of all time, the 2000 Ravens. I believe they are the greatest defense of all time. Some people may argue. Some people may say, what was that? That 77-78 Atlanta Falcons blitz scripts that only allowed 9 points a game. Obviously, you have the Steel Curtain in the 70s. You have the 85 and then the 86 Bears. So, I mean, you have the 2002 Tampa Bay Bucks. But for me, those 2000 Ravens are hands down the greatest defense of all time. But regardless, not really the argument here. The point is, yes, Trent Dilfer did it without weapons because back then you were allowed to win that way. And again, even those other quarterbacks we named when we were discussing who's able to do it without having weapons, they didn't have that type of defense behind them. You know what I'm saying? So when you've got that,
Tom Brady, when he wins
it,
he had a top 5 defense.
Yeah.
So,
you know, so it's a different thing. So I get it. Steve says Purdy landed himself on a team that with already made weapons.
He was the last pick of the draft. What more do you want from the kid?
Right. So you can say that, okay, Purdy landed himself on a team with already made weapons. But here's the deal, though. He still walked in and was able to do all the things that he did. Let's show that again. For his first, 2 years as a starter, for his first 2 years as a starter, he was able to, let me go ahead, take this down. I'm sorry, y'all. I appreciate it. Yeah, for his first 2 years as a starter, look at that. He's near the top of the freaking charts in all the major passing categories, right? So it's not just like, oh, okay, well, he came in with all the weapons, but he's up there. And for those thinking that it's dink and dunk, well, just go look that up. It's already been debunked. Last year, he led the league in yards per attempt and air yards per attempt. So he was going down the field, right? It's not like he was just, there's this premise that he was just dropping it off 5 yards and his weapons were just running the rest of the way. Well, no, that's not the case. So anyway, this is not necessarily about, Purdy, but the reason Brock Purdy comes up is because he has to get paid here, right? And so the question is, once he gets paid and now this salary cap totally gets readjusted and they're not able to keep all the same weapons, as Transformer spoke to, he believes that Debo will get released or traded once Purdy gets paid. Then it's like, okay, now you got to kind of revamp this roster and see what you can do. Is he going to be able to do that? And some people think that Purdy shouldn't get paid near top of the market. Now, me personally, I'm not a guy who believes that every quarterback who's up next or every player who's up next should get market resetting money just because they're up next. However, if you're paying Dak Prescott market resetting money and Brock Purdy is better than him, then Brock Purdy needs to be making more than Dak Prescott. He's better than Dak Prescott, and he's done more than what Dak Prescott has done.
If not, definitely more than Trevor.
That's right. That facts.
Yeah.
And by the way, for the weapons argument, Dak Prescott, the Cowboys led the NFL in all pros last year, I believe, with 8. So let's not do that either. All right,
10.
but
10.
Ooh!
Big time.
Every big hit, they throw a damn flag. Oh my gosh. Why can't we just have a big hit anymore? Yo, pick the flag up. That looked real clean to me. That looked shoulder. No.
But was it like it's to the helmet though?
Let's find out.
They count the shoulder. They count the shoulder to the helmet as well.
Oh, but the offensive player lowered his head. What is the defender supposed to do there?
Give him a blanket, bro. We had this conversation. Give him a blanket.
I got you, but it's not even that. What they need
to do. I lost my stream. No.
They need to replay all this because how can you? All right, you know what? We're not going to do this because I'm going to get upset. Happening? That was absurd. But listen, the reason I brought up Dak Prescott, Steve, sorry, I got distracted. This game is crazy. The reason I brought up Dak Prescott is because he got market resetting money, and Purdy has done more in the NFL than Dak has done. So if he's done more and is better, then he should get paid more. That's what I'm saying. All right. Next up, I believe that's me. Let's go ahead and let's play some clips regarding the 49ers. First, we'll start with a clip where they do actually discuss Brock Purdy, and then we'll go to some 49ers commentary. So let's do that. We'll come back, talk about it, then we'll go to the second clip.
They have the money set aside, I guess $60 million a year, somewhere around there. It also said this. I just want to set the record straight. This is what Dieter wrote. The 24-year-old quarterback might be having a down year, but he's still a hell of a player. His scrambling ability is a critical reason why the Niners have not yet been mathematically eliminated from playoff contention. The All-22 is far more forgiving than the zoomed-in broadcast.
Trust me, that. Me and Josh.
Yeah, and I watched the All-22.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not like just, reading the box scores like some people.
I hear you.
No, but my point is that I really want to paint the article.
Yeah, no, the article was not
like
a cutting article.
Right,
the article was not a cutting article.
So I just wanted to, because the title can show that. To answer your question, it's absolutely fair. anytime you put tape on, game film, or put something on tape, it's fair to judge. What I would say, though, is judge fairly. Judge fairly. Don't be biased, judge fairly. And when you judge fairly, you have to say, well, his defense has gone from 3rd best in the league as far as scoring to 24th. Nick Sorensen, the DC, is under fire because they haven't done well.
Thing, if I just is weird because they have the 5th yardage defense and
but
11th in forcing turnovers, but 24th scoring. So like those numbers, usually are not that far misaligned.
But you can watch. I mean,
they're not the same defense they were.
And so take that into account. The injuries offensively as well. I mean, defensively, they missed a lot of guys, but offensively as well. His 2 top weapons from last year were McCaffrey and Ayuk. They're gone.
Yeah.
Debo
hasn't been the same.
No, Debo's a one-time Pro Bowler. And I thought he was the best football player in the league a few years ago. He's only made 1 Pro Bowl in his whole career, and that was before Purdy was on the team. All right, so I'm just saying, like, you really have Kittle, who's, I think, still at a high level. Some people think he's down, but that's your only guy. So I just consider that, because we've even seen the greatest that I've seen, Mahomes, not put up the numbers that we're used to seeing from him when he only has Kelsey, who's still great.
Well, he won an
a great
MVP
player.
like that in 2022.
But he had
just Kelsey.
Okay, and he's Mahomes too.
Yeah.
But the last 2 years,
correct,
we've seen him play pedestrian. So take that into account. And all these injuries, this graphic right here shows they've lost the 2nd most games by starters to injury in the league. And all the other teams on there, essentially, except the Texans, are struggling.
Yeah.
Now, the Colts might make the playoffs, but still, they're right. And so the injuries are huge. And yet, Brock Purdy still, and I said it yesterday, but it's worth repeating, passer rating wise, he's better passer rating than all those guys. Matthew Stafford, Patrick Mahomes, Cousins, Geno Smith, C.J. Stroud. I threw Caleb on there, Nick, because you said he was a top 6 quarterback when he was still in college.
Yeah.
Dak, Trevor, because he's your guy. So I'm just saying, like, we can judge him, and we can say Purdy has not been what he was the last 2 years or year and a half, but judge it fairly. When you take everything in context, I think you have to say he's still what I've always felt, in last year that he's been a tier 2 quarterback. So if you thought he was tier 1, you're disappointed. If you thought he was tier 2 like I do, then this is what he is.
Look who's here, everybody. Look who's here. Mayor of Baltimore is back. What up, G?
Well, you know what? You're right about that.
That's right.
Greetings and salutations to the panel, man. First and foremost, I just want to get a shout out to Transformer, man. And I don't know if you guys had the opportunity to check out his IG, but this dude is he is what he say he is, man. And so check him out. He's always on this stuff, man. He's definitely one of those guys. The name supersedes itself. I think he does a really good job of personal training. So if you haven't had the opportunity to check him out, do so.
Absolutely,
and,
bro. I appreciate that.
Last but not least, I'm definitely feeling that motherfucking hoodie you got on. That joint dope. Mr. Hope, that joint dope, bro.
No doubt.
I'm still fighting. You know what, yo?
He said his pops gave it to him. So
no. I'm giving this to my pops. I'm giving this to my pops.
Okay.
This is a gift to him.
Man, listen. Man.
So I said, hey, Army got it done, right? Won the conference. Hey,
that's right.
Let me show my support, because even though we're in different branches, you're still my brother in arms, man. I appreciate you guys.
No doubt.
Love you boys, man.
That is, man.
I'm
sorry to be sentimental so early in the show. Normally, we throwing shit at each other all game.
That's
all
night. That's right.
I just had to take that opportunity to give my brothers props, man. For everything.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Man, that was all right, let's get back to this 49ers, but real quick, that was a hell of a freaking SEC title game.
Yeah, that was a great one.
Yeah, it was, bro. Mm-hmm. It was.
Man, okay. What time is it?
It is 8:05.
Just in time for the what is that? We got the Big 12, the Big 10 championship game.
2000.
This is heaven, boy. God, I love it. All right. Where were we, man? I'm so lost right now.
Well, we just got done with the video, right? Listening to
yes.
with first things first had to say about paying Brock Purdy. And the thing, and they were talking about, being fair. And at this point, you have to look at Brock Purdy's resume, right? So far, he came in the league damn near one pick away from being undrafted, right? Came in, took the shoulders of a franchise who, one, didn't believe in him to be that guy. They got rid of Garoppolo, and then next up was supposed to be their original first-round pick of can't remember his name, light skin, played for San Diego. Who did he play for? I forget what college he played for. It was a first-round pick.
Iowa State.
No. The original first-round pick.
Who? Trey Lance.
Trey Lance. There you go. They had Trey Lance. They picked Trey
Lance. North Dakota or North Dakota State.
Okay, there you go. I knew it was some weird team. But yeah. So they had their eyes set. They drafted up to go get Trey Lance, and so they didn't really have the foresight or any type of mental think that they were going to ever put their last pick, Mr. Irrelevant, in the game. And he came in and he excelled at all expectations, right? Typically you have, those type of quarterbacks, they come in and they're just game manager. They're just trying not to turn the ball over. It's heavy run. But he's shown over the last couple of years, he can throw it. He can run it. He can go get you some yards. He can make a play when a play needs to be made. So he's shown all of that, right? We look at Trevor Lawrence, and we hype off that one playoff game where they came back against the San Diego Los Angeles Chargers. Well, Brock Purdy can one up that. I've been to a Super Bowl, right? I got my team to a Super Bowl, and then when they didn't have me and Philadelphia knocked me out the game, San Fran didn't look good at all without me.
That's a fact,
right? So he has all of that in his tool belt and on his resume to be like, hey, look, I've done more than what you asked for, and I've only been getting paid $1 million a year to do so. So he definitely deserves it, man. I think he's definitely going to get it. He's earned it, right? Through his play and through his prowess of being Mr. Irrelevant to being in that conversation.
G, your thoughts, man, on Brock Purdy, and then we'll kind of get along to the next step of whether or not the 49ers are done for the foreseeable future. And the only reason we bring up Purdy is because he's about to get paid, and clearly that's going to affect the team roster structure.
Yeah, when I look at Brock Purdy and his his introduction into the league, you have to hold him to the same standard that you do all these other tier 1 quarterbacks, right? And so you look at like a Mahomes or Lamar Jackson, right? And my only beef with him is you come into a offense where you have all the weapons there, right? Like a lot of Pro Bowl players, and you can't stay healthy. So my only bone with him is that he's almost hurt every year. Yeah, he superseded expectations when it comes to him being the last guy in the pick, but at the same time you're here now, right? And so you have to not only take care of your body, but you also have to be in a situation where that when your number is called, you execute. And I think the 49ers have always been a team that's been there, but when it comes down to them executing, he's always either gone or on the bench hurt. So when it comes to that, I think they're done.
Yeah, that's interesting. I was saying that I'm really not so sure. I don't think they're done. It looks bad, but that organization is very good in their cap management. They're very good in their scouting. They're very good in their drafting. So we will definitely see what ends up happening. We got some more commentary from Speak with Joy Taylor, Paul Pierce, Keyshawn Johnson, and Michael Irvin, and them talking about the Cowboys, the 49ers going forward. Let's hear what they had to say, and then we'll come back and talk a little more about this topic.
The window this year is closed, and I can't write out the organization because they are a well-run organization. They're well-coached. They have a lot of pieces, but it does kind of seem like this looming energy of maybe we missed our opportunity. I can't completely write them off that they won't be able to retool and get back to being what they were, but it's not going to be the same roster. There's a lot of pieces they have to pay. They have to figure out how to pay Brock Purdy. This offseason is going to make this team look very different next year.
Yeah, and it's so crazy you're talking about the offseason and what the team is going to look like and paying Purdy and things like that. I wouldn't be shocked if Kyle Shanahan took a break. I just wouldn't be shocked.
No.
I just wouldn't be shocked.
Do you have some inside information?
No. I just wouldn't be shocked. That's all I'm gonna say. I wouldn't be shocked if he took a break and said to himself, if he said to himself, you know what? I need to just
decompress for a second.
Yeah, I need to refocus and recalibrate because right now, like you said, you think about all that's gonna happen to their roster to come back into this thing and try to do it all over again. It's gonna be tough.
I mean, that's the pressures of the NFL.
I know, but when you're a successful coach that keeps kicking on the door, it's not a sit long. Yeah. It's just I need a breather, man.
This is a perfect situation, though. The relationship he has with John Lynch over there, it's just a perfect situation.
Oh, no question.
You know what I mean? And they get total control. You mess around and go somewhere else, sit out and go somewhere else and dealing with another owner. The issue is they haven't had any chance to get in continuity as a team. Every time someone comes back off injury, someone else leaves injury. And we always talk about playing your best football going down the stretch.
Yeah, it's
the presidential agent.
It's tough because they really have had a lot of injuries, and I usually don't like that excuse because this has been a bad year of injuries for every team.
It has.
Significant injuries, year-ending injuries, and you have to find a way to recover. But it just feels compounded. The expectations for them were NFC Championship game or Super Bowl. They're not going to get anywhere near that. So the expectations paired with the jump that Brock Purdy needed to make this year and losing all the pieces that you've had, it does feel like it was, like Paul said.
But I think they could be back in next year. I really do. I think
they're too good of a team and too consistent for me to just write off.
And too well ran, I believe. When you can go and find this kind of talent with the last pick, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You found this talent with the last pick in the draft. That means you know what you're running, your organization. You're picking up players that'll contribute.
All right, y'all. So a lot of good commentary there. And I think towards the end there, Michael Irvin kind of echoed my sentiments in terms of how they scout well, how they draft well, and how they are able to build that team. I do think it's also very interesting the thought that Keyshawn Johnson expressed when he said he wouldn't be surprised if Kyle Shanahan walked away for a little bit, feeling tired, needing a break, burnout. But this is, I don't know, like you can't do that because when you come back to the NFL, right? Where do you expect to come back to? You might end up in a much worse spot than where you are now, where you don't have a GM who you're perfectly in sync with. You might be with a franchise that doesn't draft as well or doesn't scout as well and just doesn't have the generally organizational stability that the 49ers have. So I don't know if that would be the best move for him. He's got to try to get it done. G, your thoughts, and then we'll get the transformer there.
I look at it again, right? Like I talk about just Purdy being Mr. Irrelevant and being able to supersede expectations. But then if you also look at it as a GM and you can say, hey, listen, if I got him as Mr. Irrelevant, I can easily pick up another one. We've seen Chicago Bears do something that we haven't seen when they drafted Justin Fields, and then circle right back and got a number one pick. And so it could come down to a thing with can Purdy get it done, right? Not necessarily the 49ers, but can Purdy get it done? He's been in situations where, like they said, there's multiple injuries that may have hindered, but you still have to play through, and there's always the next man up in the NFL. So it's I think the onus is on Purdy. We if the team's losing, it's because of the quarterback. I don't think that's anything different, and he should be held to the same standard as a tier 1 quarterback. But those guys had a lot of really good points, but the onus was on the coach, and if he was willing to like stick around and or like sit down for a second, and this should be on Purdy. Like I think this is your contract year that you're gonna pay you millions of dollars, and you're not really necessarily getting it done, and that's something that should be amplified and not pushed to the side and put on the coach.
So where my frustration is with that, and those are all great thoughts, G. I don't have too much pushback, but where my only frustration is with this, Purdy's a game manager. He's not that good, this, that, and the third, right? We have to remember that last we saw when Brock Purdy was in the Super Bowl, we have to remember he left the field after giving his team the lead. His defense lost that game for him. So we can't say, I mean, at the end of the day, we can say he didn't get it done, right? Because at the end of the day, right, you got to win. So when you win as a quarterback, it's on you. When you lose as a quarterback, it's on you. But he left the field after driving his team down and getting points, right? Getting the lead. And so as such, his defense gives away the game and he takes the L on that. Like, that's not cool. But I noticed that context is always left out when we're talking about Brock Purdy. Now, to that point, I see, I think it was Steve in the comments asking, what was he? Let's see.
Well, before you go to Steve, Bruce, I just want to say, Brock Purdy has been in a lot of guys' top 10, right?
Okay. Who's in my
I
top
haven't
10?
seen him be able to get it done. He has an amazing supporting cast, right?
Mm-hmm.
CMC, one of the hardest running wide receivers to ever play the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then with Brandon Ayuk signing this year, I think it was this year he signed that big contract.
Yeah, they extended him.
Yeah, and that tight end. I mean, what more could you ask for? I mean, yeah, defense at the end of the day, defense will win games, but the quarterback is held responsible for those losses. And and I think when you look at the rest of the quarterbacks in the league, we got to hold them to the same standard that we do everyone else. And that's my 2 cents. And I wouldn't be surprised if the San Francisco 49ers decide to move away from him and or draft with a high pick. They decide their first pick, they decide to draft a quarterback because he hasn't been getting it done. And if I'm Kyle Shanahan, I'm definitely looking towards job stability.
I think he's got. Sorry.
I would look towards job stability and moving forward. This guy is never always healthy all year, and every year he's been hurt. So that's a liability in itself. That's my 2 cents, bro.
Now that I can't argue that. Definitely points there. So no pushback there on the injury piece. That said, right? Shanahan, I think he's got job stability. I don't think he's concerned about losing his job. We can't. Like, okay, cool. You can say Brock Purdy hasn't gotten it done like the other 29 quarterbacks in the league the last 2 years he's been in the league, right? This is his third season. After this, he's up for a deal. I think it's his third season. But the point is, here's the deal with Purdy on my stance, right? We can say he hasn't gotten it done, but no one else has other than Mahomes. And the money is, I think they said that it's been reported the money is already there and set aside to pay him if you need to. So I don't think you can necessarily, I wouldn't penalize him for this year. I wouldn't, because how many quarterbacks would be able to deal with all the injuries to top players that Purdy has had this season, right? How many quarterbacks would be able to deal with that? You lost games to your all-pro left tackle. You lost games to your Penn State. You lost games to your all-pro left tackle. You lost games to your number 1/1A wide receiver. You lost games to your both of your wide receivers, right? Debo and Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk out for the rest of the year. Your first team all-pro running back, you lost games to him. Like, all of your major weapons besides Kittle have been injured. Like, how many quarterbacks would still be effective? And secondly, no one expects Purdy to be a tier 1. No one believes he's a tier 1. I don't. Now, you can be a top 10 and not be tier 1, right? I think he's a tier 2 guy, a very good tier 2 quarterback. But Steve says, where was it? Are you going to tell me Purdy is on par with Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, Prime, Rodgers, hell, even Burrow? No, but those are the top guys. That's why Purdy is on that next tier. And
right. And so,
okay. Hurdle, touchdown, Oregon.
So going into what you just said, right? Like, why are we even having this conversation if this guy isn't? If you believe that he shouldn't be held to the same account that most of these quarterbacks are, in order to do more, they have to do more with less, right? This guy has walked into a situation where not only did he had to, outplay his the guy that was in front of him, he earned the spot to be number 1 QB1, and he's just not living up to that expectation. You have to be, you just can't shine when everything is going well. You also have to be able to perform when you don't have those guys. And that's football in general, man. Like, you just had to have that toughness and be able to make more out of less. I think we've seen a lot of quarterbacks that do that week in and week out. Purdy isn't held to a higher standard other than that. So I'm not going back and forth with you, bro. I'm just
no.
I'm saying is
that's what you're doing, man, and it's disrespectful.
he's a starting quarterback for the National Football League for the San Francisco 49ers. Joe Montana played there. Steve Young played there. All these greats played there. And now you in the spotlight, dog. Like, you can't make excuses for why you're not performing. You can't say because this guy not there that I ain't
Right.
gonna be able to play. And we watch these games. Sometimes he just doesn't show up, and no one's talking about it because when they are there, right, they could be more of a them than a him type deal where they showing up and they doing the extra things to make him great. And so I mean, I like Purdy. Don't get it twisted. I like Purdy, but I know that if he's missing a piece, it throws him off. And as a defense, the first thing you do is just try to take one of his key players out of
Absolutely.
yeah, like a
Absolutely.
Bell Belichick. He's going to make you play
Play
the
left-handed.
players that you yes, and as
That's
a number one quarterback in this league, you have to be able to play that. No one is exempt to that. Not even Lamar, not Josh Allen. You see what happens when their number one quarterback, when their number one receivers go down. The first thing they do is they pulling people from oh my gosh, the free agency list. All of a sudden, there's a blockbuster trade that happens, and so a lot of this is not only on the quarterback, but it is also on the general manager, those guys that build the team.
No, listen. I'm not mad at anything you're saying there, and I do agree with most of it. I'm just saying I think where we kind of part ways on it is that I don't know too many people who see Brock Purdy as a tier 1 quarterback, right? So the expectations, yes, he's a starter on a very good topic. Man, shut up, Transformer. he's a starter on a very good team, but I don't think anyone sees him as a tier 1 or a top level quarterback. He's very good, right? But he's not that. And so I don't see the expectations necessarily where you would be willing to put them. Now, I don't know if your argument is because he's about to get paid like it. Is that what the argument is? Because he's about to get paid like it?
The argument is I'm coming from a place of a fan, right? As a San Francisco 49er fan, you see Brock Purdy, you see the rest of your
better than Kirk Cousins. Go ahead, Steve. My bad.
This is your year, right? This is your year. And we talked about this earlier. There's a lot of players who are really, really good. There's a lot of teams that's really, really good, but their record doesn't reflect, that how good they are, right? And so we may see this in the playoffs. However, right now, I mean, I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know how they'll do in the NFC. I really have no clue. I don't know where they stand in the standings. But we just have to wait and see because the playoffs is a totally different game. I feel like the season, it's the fourth quarter of the season, and a lot of teams, they've been tuning up just to get to this point right here. And if you're 3 games over 500, then you're in a good place. But if you're 4 games over 500, which they say is the goal to be 4 games over 500 around this time of year, then you got a better chance at getting in without having a wild card. So
I got you. So now we got that. So I guess the question for the rest of the topic is more so looking forward. Do we think the 49ers run of consistent top of the NFC dominance and possible Super Bowl contention, do we think that window has closed?
If the question is for me, I know Transformer hasn't really had time to really say anything, but the question is for me is if you see how the Lions played this week, I think Thursday night, and how they was able to, go against adversity and beat the Green Bay Packers, who was an extremely hot team. How can you even put them above them? Like personnel wise, I can see that, right? Like these guys got like all the glitz and glamour that it takes to be a tier 1 team, but how do you put them above the Lions and even the Packers? Right? That was a boom play. Like it could have went any way. That game could have went either way. It was extremely entertaining, and for me, that was the game of the week.
On Thursday, that's crazy.
On a Thursday, listen, I was talking to somebody. I was like, "Yo, Amazon Prime and stepped their
game up.
Playing,
right? Yeah, they've been putting some good Thursday
BS
night
games. It'd be like the Cowboys and the Panthers or something.
That's because we gave them hell from what they gave us last year.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
We gave them hell.
They did well. So it's definitely going to be interesting, man. I think, and you know what? Let me say it right here. Let me give shout out to Bruce in the chat because I think a few weeks back he was the one who I think he called in and he said it. He said, "Remember, I said it first. The 49ers are done in the NFC," and I believe he said correct me if I'm wrong, Bruce. I think you said the Lions are the team in the NFC going forward. I think you said that. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I know you were the first one to say that San Francisco's done in the NFC. So definitely want to give you a shout out for that. Definitely. But yeah, man, it's tough. But the NFL is not made for teams to stay at a high level and super productive for year after year after year. It's just not the way free agency works, the way the salary cap works, obviously with injuries, all that. The NFL's not built for that. And it looks like, not for long is coming to fruition in San Francisco. So they can't get away with not paying Brock Purdy. They're going to have to do that. It's just a function of how they're going to be able to build the team after they do it. And we also know that Kyle Shanahan is a real outstanding coach. Maybe up until the championship level, right? Yep, there you go. You did say it. Thank you, Bruce. That's right. You did say it. So shout out for that. But yeah, so I think it might be a wrap for San Francisco, at least for a little while, till they figure out something else. We'll see what they're able to do. We'll see what they're able to do. You got anything else?
So are we gonna say, because the question is, are the 49ers done?
Mm-hmm.
Are we saying done for the next couple of seasons, or we're saying done as
foreseeable future, not just this year?
Oh, that's crazy.
For the foreseeable future. I'm sorry, I wasn't clear with that.
This year, sir. This year, I mean,
foreseeable future. That's
kind of so I think that's where G is kind of throwing it a little different direction.
Yeah, CMC without a CMC, right? Like you think of where he was in a running back standing last year compared to this year, bro. Like that production, that means a lot, especially when it comes to a balanced offensive attack. Like this dude got hurt, and so how do you come back from that? He came back extra early, went to Germany and talked to some guys. They gave him some injections or something.
Yeah, he went to do the thing Kobe did, the blood spinning for his knee.
He got married early this year, and so not to say that's the reason. His wife is definitely beautiful, and I can understand
women weaken legs.
Standing
Zion Williamson know all about that.
Oh.
Yeah. Man, I didn't even hear what you just said.
We're gonna leave that.
It was something funny.
Oh man, we're gonna leave that.
Let me focus. Let me get back.
Yes, focus. Yeah, go ahead, G.
That's for both of us. Just without having the ability to put 8 in the box, I think it changes the dynamic of the passer. And now he has to be a true quarterback and make those passes on a dime versus having a CMC in the backfield and attracting that much attention. So it ain't much to these 49ers, bro. Like, Purdy gonna get hurt every year. They gonna sign him. He gonna give him a bunch of money. He gonna get hurt every year, just like he been getting hurt because, he might be a little fragile, not drinking milk, but I digress. I think having a solid running game is to his advantage. And I just don't understand why.
Isn't that to everybody's advantage, though? Just about every quarterback, isn't that to their advantage? Just about. You got Supermen like maybe Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, but most quarterbacks and Patrick Mahomes, most quarterbacks having a running game is to their advantage, I'd say.
Well, Brady had a lot of successful years without a dominant quarterback, right? But when you start looking at these tier 2 quarterbacks, right, the need for that beast in the backfield is almost like without him, you won't even notice them as quarterback. He's just a game manager without him. Yeah. But it's always two sides to this coin, right? Like you also need to have that mature and dominant defense in order to be successful. I thought when I look at Green Bay this Thursday, because I think that was the last football NFL game we got to watch. Their defense is pretty solid, man, and I think I would put them above the 49ers. Versus the Packers.
Okay, going forward, for the next few years.
Okay. They have a lot to build on.
And athletic, I think so.
Yeah, they got a lot to build on, man. I'm not saying that the 49ers can't. I don't think they're in a position where they cannot. It just all depends on how well the offensive coordinator is able to work with what these guys got. I feel like they went away from some of their strengths when it came to Deebo Samuels. Like he was always almost a highlight of every game. I don't think we're seeing that enough, right? Like that yard after catch, his yak was crazy. And now I'm not sure we're seeing that after Brandon Ayuk got signed. It's almost as if he just kind of in the backfield playing he's just playing football. I'm sorry, he's just playing like secondary or some shit. I don't know. He is not. I thought he would be their number one receiver. I'm sure if we look at the yards, he's still probably doing his thing, but he got paid recently, and so he fell off as well.
Yeah, he fell off
as well.
It's been a bad year for Debo Samuel. But that's why I said earlier before you hopped on, I think they trade him. I think they're going to end up trading him.
Yeah,
because his price tag is way too high for this type of production.
Yeah.
So in order for them to take on Brock Purdy's contract, you can't have two $27+ million receivers, $20 million running back, $30 million left tackle, and a $60 million quarterback. You have a defensive end. Nick Bosa just got paid. You got Fred Warner, who's paid. You got the Lenore, the cornerback, just got paid. Hufanga got to get paid. That's a lot of money. They doing Golden State numbers. They just pulling stuff out of nowhere and just making the money work. But you're eventually going to have to look at that $60 million that Brock Purdy's got to get. You got to cut hair somewhere. Somebody got to get cut bait. And I think that's why you draft Ricky Pearsall out of Florida, because you're looking for that next Debo. You got Brandon Ayuk, so you got younger, right? And Debo just hasn't been healthy enough to, give you that type of production. So, and then they got the upcoming draft. They're going to be able to draft up in the high teens this year. So, they got an opportunity there to even replace Debo Samuel a little bit further.
Great point, Transformer. Really, really great point. I think just piggybacking off of him, what they do in the draft is going to determine how well they do next year and the years to come.
There we go. All right. So let's do this. We will open up the phone lines, 904-219-8264. 904-219-8264. Definitely want to hear from you guys on Brock Purdy, on the San Francisco 49ers, what you think of them going forward over the next few years, and whether you think their run is over for the foreseeable future. Yeah, let's get it. Oh, my gosh. It's over for SMU. Clemson is already up 14-0. Oh, boy. Uh-oh.
I was watching that Georgia game. That was a pretty good game.
Defensive football, baby.
Yeah,
you gotta love it when you line up in the trenches.
Yeah,
who getting dirtier?
It was weird because Georgia deferred. They deferred it at overtime, which I thought was different.
Well, it's smart, so you know what you have to do. Here's Bruce on the call. Let's go ahead and take this show. Bruce, what's up, my man?
What's going on with y'all?
Maintaining, brother.
What's happening, Bruce?
Yeah. Everything kosher?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why you always
what's up, Boogie?
Somewhere kosher. Yeah, it's kosher.
Sound like Colin's lady or something, man. Don't talk to me like that, man.
Jesus.
Man, I'm low key tonight, man.
All right.
As far as what's up, Gino?
Hey, Boopy, what's up, dog?
What's up, brother?
Big Bruce.
As far as Brock Purdy, in my opinion, he's a game manager, not a game changer.
Okay. Can you say that again for me? You was breaking up, man. Say that again. Game manager, not a game changer. Go ahead.
He's a game manager, not a game changer. But the kid is tough. He's played well in big games. He showed me a lot last year. The kid is really good. He's just a tier below all the big dogs. That's all. He's in a second tier, for sure. He plays well enough to win a Super Bowl. You almost seen it last year with the defense that San Francisco have. As far as San Francisco, they're going to shake back. They got too much talent, but Detroit are the alpha and the omega of the NFC right now for the foreseeable future. But not saying San Francisco will be in the mix along with Philly. Understand what I'm saying? But as far as their dominance, the San Francisco 49ers dominance, the fear that people had in them, is not the same no more.
Agreed.
It's not the same. I think Shanahan maybe ran his course with San Francisco. Maybe not. He's too good of a coach, man.
I don't think he's ran his course yet.
No, he ran his course yet. No, I think San Francisco will be a huge mistake to let him go. Even the Ravens will gladly take him over John Harbaugh because it's just like that motherfucker gone. I can't stand. But I ain't gonna start talking no Raven talk. As far as even though I'm upset we ain't had no Raven talk, man, about damn near 2 weeks. But anyway, I ain't even gonna get into it.
We're not a Raven show.
But everybody else talk about the Ravens every day. First Eight, Speak. Everybody talk about the Ravens. Anyway, the 49ers going to shake back.
Okay.
They're going to be in the mix in NFC, but right now, I don't see nobody. Detroit are the alpha and omega of the NFC right now. They're going to go on a run. I believe they'll make the Super Bowl this year.
Mm-hmm.
I believe there will be a hood Super Bowl this year with Baltimore and Detroit. And us slightly edging them in the Super Bowl. That's my opinion.
I definitely like the NFC. I definitely like the NFC pick. Lions.
Hey, Bruce, we got that echo going on, man. Can you fix that?
Hold on.
All right.
I'm going to start calling him Echo Bruce.
Yeah, I think so. Yep, there we go.
What you were saying, Boo?
Go ahead, G. You muted, G.
You muted.
I said I definitely like the NFC pick of the Lions. Definitely like them coming out of the NFC.
I think it's something them
It's going to be a hood.
Yeah.
It's going to be a hood Super Bowl. Baltimore versus Detroit. A lot of New Balances and Cartier buffs going on.
So, Bruce, here's my thing, right? I see you guys aren't big on Harbaugh, right? And that's fine, cool. But my thing is this: give me Harbaugh over Kyle Shanahan any day. Kyle Shanahan has shown a propensity to blow coaching in big games, late in big games, right? We've seen him do it twice in the Super Bowl as a head coach. We've also seen him do it in the Super Bowl as an offensive coordinator, giving up the largest lead in Super Bowl history, right? Blowing it. And so
go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
No, you good. I was just saying, man, give me Harbaugh because at least he's proven that he can win one. So I'll take that. No, is he perfect? Does he allow Todd Monken to do crazy stuff? Yes, but at least he's a winner. Kyle Shanahan is now choked 3 times. So what's up, Salam? Sneed, Salam, brother. But
Salam,
yeah,
brother.
I can't I can't say I'd take Kyle Shanahan over John Harbaugh. I can't do that.
Well, you can't give Shanahan the sole blame of that Atlanta thing. Goddamn, defense got to play defense. Damn, he gave you 4 touchdowns.
But as the OC, he could have put that away, though. He could have put that away, but he wanted to get cute, just like Todd Monken. When these guys want to get cute, they end up losing.
I think
when you get cute. Oh, go ahead, Boo.
I think when we look at when we start to assess these coaches, that's totally different from assessing the quarterbacks, right? Andy Reid has everyone's number, the same way Bill Belichick had, and he always owned John Harbaugh. So it's different, man, right? Like the quarterbacks, they gonna come out, they gonna play, they might put up big numbers, but at the same time, like being able to manage the game as a coach is different from managing the game as a quarterback.
I will tell y'all this here. From Baltimore Raven fans and San Fran fans, y'all will be happy trading each other because both of y'all don't like your coaches. Both teams will be happy. You know, San Fran fans, they like, man, Cal got to go. He keep blowing the damn game. Blowing the game. You look at Raven fans, they're like, man, this man John got to go, bro. John got to go.
Bro, it's like a slow week when it comes to these plays, bro. Like some of these plays should never be picked during a game plan against some of these teams, bro. And that's where me and John kind of like we don't see eye to eye because I see too much of this tight end screen, this wildcat bullshit. Like it's certain plays and it's certain like times of the game where I'm not even a football coach, bro. I'm like, you didn't have anything else out of the 700 plays that you could call, but you decided for this one, like this is where you bring your best to the best. And so, I can't speak for 49ers fans, but if it's just game management, game plans, like I don't know if that's a Kyle Shanahan thing, but for us, that's definitely a big vulnerability when it comes to these games. It's just like no oversight on what Todd Monken is doing, and he's only been here second year. But there should be a little bit more QA going on, and that's his Achilles heel when it comes to a Ravens fan. I think I speak for everyone. Like he's going to go for it on 4th and short. Why wouldn't he? He got 2 of the best fucking players in the backfield.
That's right.
But I done seen Todd take those guys out of the goddamn play Put him
Right.
on the bench, bro. And then
Yeah.
run something. It's like, oh yeah, this clearly a run, right? Like there's no like, okay, we just gonna punch you in the mouth. We haven't been punching you in the mouth. I digress. Anyway, I'm gonna let you get your time in, Bruce, man. And I'm gonna sit over here. I'm gonna mute myself.
Oregon
That's
up 14-3.
cool.
That's some
But yeah, man. Yeah, I think truthfully, I think Purdy is a game manager, but he's a tough quarterback. He's tough. He's a winner. He could get you some places. And I just feel like Detroit they run an NMC right now. So I'll call you guys back on the next topic.
No doubt, brother. Appreciate the call as always.
All right, bro.
All right. All right. Looks like we don't have any more calls on this topic. So we can go ahead and we're gonna move to the next one. But before we do that, quick announcement for anyone who's in the chat and didn't hear it before. We have opened up memberships for the channel. So when you go to the channel looking for content to watch, because we got a whole ton. Okay, let's take this call. But just make sure, go ahead. If you're so inclined, click that join button, man. We're gonna have some member exclusive content and good stuff like that. So let's get it. Tony Tone, aka Laker Nation. What's good, brother? How you doing?
You actually thought you were going to talk about the 49ers and I wasn't going to call in.
You said you were sitting out this one. So you said you were sitting out this topic, man. So what you got, brother?
Well, y'all was fair. Y'all wasn't flaming them being ridiculous. So
why would we? They've been one of the top teams in the league for like the last 6 years. It's no flaming. This is the first down year they've had in a minute. So we're just talking and trying to, evaluate and see what we think about it and what it could be and what it might be going forward. That's all. But yeah, what are your thoughts, man?
Man, I'm 100% never a person to make excuses. So I'm not going to start today.
Okay.
It's just been one of those retarded years for us that just make you want to throw your remote at the TV. But I don't do it because, I don't feel like going to the store and buying another one.
Right. Facts.
But yeah, this season has been ridiculous. I'm not on the fence of saying fire Shanahan, but he is. I don't see the best coaching from him this year. I know, granted, I haven't watched every game because I've been busy, but what is the last three or 4 weeks we've been getting torched.
Yeah.
And we've been getting torched, and it hasn't even been competitive.
Well, I don't hold too much against you in the Buffalo game, but Tyler, I didn't even see you there. What's up, Tyler? Yeah, I don't hold too much against you guys in the Buffalo game, but the other two, those were kind of rough.
I hold the organization accountable for what happened to CMC in that Buffalo game. Obviously, he rushed them back too fast for a game that you weren't going to win to begin with. So now he's out. Now he's out for the year, and hopefully it's not career threatening because he should have just been on the IR for the rest of the year. That's just my opinion. And we've seen this happen too many times with running backs. We've seen the last time it happened with Jamal Anderson. Running back rushed back too bad and then too quick, and then they get a hit, and boom, they're gone. I just hope his career is not over. But I think we rushed him back. But with all that being said, I'm just going to call in to say this because I don't go back and forth with people, especially when they're headstrong on their opinions and they don't make sense. Like, I'm going to say this. We put Mahomes on the pedestal. Yeah, he's doing a great thing, but we can't shy of the fact that he has one of the top best defensive coordinators in the game on his side for the past 2 years. I mean, name any quarterback that has handled what do you call that? Well, he's good at throwing blitzes where he always throws that extra man that comes untouched. Name Name a quarterback that can handle that really well.
That can handle the pressure really well.
Yeah, no, that handles that weak side blitz that comes in free.
Oh, okay.
That the quarterback don't see. I mean, that's what stopped us in that Super Bowl and held us to a field goal.
Right.
But Purdy's being criticized because he's not forcing Hail Mary plays. I mean, that don't make no sense.
No, I hear you.
Go
ahead. My bad.
I'll let y'all have y'all game manager. If he's producing, I don't give a damn what the hell y'all call him.
Right.
To me, the numbers that he's putting up, he's the best. He's the GOAT of game managers that the NFL has ever seen. If that's the case.
Okay.
Because I can't think of any game manager that's been first in the NFL in almost every category for his position.
No, you're right.
I mean, that's it. That's all.
And if you heard me earlier, that's been my argument. Like, I'm not trying to tell you he's Lamar or he's Mahomes or Josh Allen. I'm not saying that. But for what he is, he's one of the best. And this is the first year he's really having a down year. So, like, I'm not here to rip him and tell you, oh, he's a bum or he's, nah. I think he's very good.
I mean, every quarterback has a down year. I mean, it happens to all of them. It happens to all of them. I'm not going to sit up here and throw out names, but we all know it happens. It happens to all of them. But you got to also admit, this kid is only like 24, 25, if I'm not mistaken. It's only his fourth year.
Yeah, he's a young guy.
And came out of nowhere. But I'm going to say this to all the people that were throwing these side comments to me in the chat. What happens to the 49er offense when Purdy's not in the game?
Total garbage. Terrible. They can't do anything.
They don't do anything. And the last quarterback they said was a hellified game manager. He won 7 Super Bowls. I'm not saying he's going to turn into Tom Brady.
No.
But if that's your only argument, to me that's not a slight to Brock Purdy.
Right.
Thirdly, a lot of people thinking about he don't deserve his money. I don't count another man's money. I count mine.
Well,
so I really don't give a damn what they pay him, as long as they know what they're doing and they build the organization the right way. If they don't, then they need to move them out the way and put somebody there that does. Because I don't want us to turn into the Cowboys.
No doubt. All right, man. You have anything else?
I do. Last thing is I'm not sold on the Lions. Everybody else is, but I'm not sold.
Okay.
Because the playoffs is it's a different story.
It is.
They slowed. They were young. They're a high-powered offense, but in the playoffs, I've seen time and time again high-powered offense get slowed down and becomes a slugfest. Now, if they can pull out a slugfest, then I'll be the first person to call out here, call into the podcast, and say I was wrong about the line. But I think Green Bay is gonna give them problems. They face them. I don't think they don't want to see them in the playoffs. And I think the Eagles is gonna give them problems. Anybody else, they'll probably walk through. But those two teams are going to be their biggest problems in the playoffs because Green Bay is legit from what I see. And Jordan Love is not getting all the respect he deserves.
There you go.
And on the AFC, it's going to come down to Baltimore and the Chiefs again. And this time I want to see Lamar and them boys pull it out. I'm tired of seeing that ugly-ass KC red helmet in the Super Bowl.
There you have it, man. I appreciate the call.
Steve, I'm not going to comment no more on your take because those comments are one-sided bias because for some reason, you don't like Brock Purdy. So I respect your opinions. I'm not going to respond to them, but they kind of, when it comes to Brock Purdy, they kind of off and slant to the side.
There you go.
But you guys I'm right. You guys have a wonderful show.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I want to know what your membership sound like because I want to become one. And
no doubt.
Keep doing what you're doing. And let me know what you need to do to help your platform grow. It's a great job.
I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate, man. We'll talk. All right. Great call from Laker Nation. Appreciate that.